Hi there, in today's video I want to show you how to make these cute little, I'm calling them Bitty Boo boxes because when you open them up, a little boo pops out at you and on the underside is a little Starburst candy. These actually came from a fellow demonstrator. She was published in our Stampin' Success magazine as an art contest winner for this idea. And I thought it was so cute, I had to share it with my customers. So I am going to show you how to make these, and let's just put these aside. We're going to begin by scoring a strip of black paper using the Simply Scored scoring tool, and I already have all the score lines marked here, so I'm just going to go ahead and score this. And then we'll go ahead and fold along all of these score lines. And you can see there's one little end here that's about 1/4 of an inch wide, and I'm going to add sticky strip to that section. So I've got that on there. Then we're going to get our petal card double punch. Now the way to use this double punch is to have it setting flat on your surface. Slide your cardstock in all the way, and then you want to get good even pressure on the entire punch because it's not only cutting but it's scoring, and that's why they're calling it a double punch. So you can see the score lines here, there's a square. So I do a black one, and then I'm going to do a coordinating color, and I am using Cajun Craze. So I have those two little petal cards punched. Then I'm going to take my sticky strip again and put sticky strip around each of these outside petals of the black petal card. Okay, so I've added sticky strip to each of these petals on the black one, and I've removed the backing on it, and then you want to just fold along those score lines, fold those in. Then you're going to take your little strip, your scored strip that you have here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this backing on the sticky strip here as well. So I'm starting on this edge where the little flap is, and I'm just going to begin by taking one of the petals, and I'm just going to adhere that right inside that first square. So you can see that's going to form the bottom of the box, and then just continue around attaching each of the petals to each of those scored sections on the black strip. Okay, now on this last one you're going to fold that little edge, that little 1/4 inch edge that has the sticky strip in, so that is ready for the final edge to be adhered. So there you go. So you have this little open-ended box. So there's the bottom section of your box, and then you're going to take some, I'm using Frightful Sight Designer Series paper. We're going to do a pumpkin one this time, and then I'm just taking my 1-inch square punch, and I'm just going to punch out 4 squares. Now sometimes after you punch these, you'll notice that there's a little bit of the white edge showing, and you can take a black marker to just darken that along each side of the punched edge. Okay, so once I've fixed those edges, then I'm just going to take my snail adhesive and use that on the back side of each of these. And then I'll just attach one of these to the outside edges of this box, all 4 sides, and this will just be the decoration. Okay, so now you've got your decoration on all four sides. Next I'm going to take the scrap black paper from my petal card that I punched, and I'm going to punch a postage stamp using the postage stamp punch out of black. So I have that, and then I'm going to take my Cajun Craze petal card and fold in all of these little petals. Put a little snail adhesive on the back of the postage stamp, and I fold these in so that I can center this completely in the square of the postage stamp punch. So kind of get that centered in the postage stamp square. Then you can open this back up. Now I'm going to take my 1/4 inch black grosgrain ribbon, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm just using an insert, a foam insert from my clear block caddy. And basically what I want to do is position this in the center of the postage stamp so it just about reaches the edge of this petal. I'm leaving just a little bit so that when I turn it over I can actually see where that's coming out on the other side, but you want it centered on the stamp. Then you're going to turn that over, and then you're going to take this little piece of window sheet that I've pre-cut, and you're going to line up this one edge to the score line on this other side, extending out over where the ribbon is. And then you're going to take your paper piercing tool, and I am going to punch this a little off. This would be like the center point in the middle of the square. I'm going to do it a little off center because I think it springs a little better if I put it closer to this edge. So I'm just moving it over halfway in between the center and that scored edge. And then you're just going to punch all the way through, and hopefully this will go right through the ribbon on the other side. And I'm going to remove my paper piercing tool and then take this little silver brad, poke it through, and then try to pick up all these layers. So this goes right through the grosgrain ribbon, and then I'm just going to open these little tabs on the back side to secure it. Okay, so that's ready. And then I'm going to take a little more sticky strip and put on the opposite petal from where the ribbon is, and I'll need that in a minute. Then I'm also going to add sticky strip to both sides of the end of this window sheet. So there's one, and then on the bottom side as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove this backing. And adhere this to the inside of the box. So now I have my little lid on there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my scrap, a couple of scrap pieces of paper. I'm using my black scrap again, and then a scrap of gray paper. And I am going to emboss the images from the Spooky Bingo Bit set. I'm going to start by using the little embossing buddy just to make sure that there's no static and my embossing powder doesn't stick. And then I'm going to use Versamark ink, and I'm using the little pumpkin from the Spooky Bingo Bits, and I'm going to stamp him on gray cardstock with the Versamark. And then I'm going to use this little trick or treat greeting, and that's going to go on the black. So on the black one, I'm going to use white embossing powder. Just sprinkle a little of that onto my stamped image, and then I'll use the black embossing powder on this gray piece to do the pumpkin. Okay, so those are both ready to emboss, and then you're going to get your heat tool, and I'm going to use a tile here just so that my table doesn't get too hot. So there's my embossed pumpkin, and then I'll do the same thing with the trick or treat. And then I'm just going to punch these out using my 1-inch circle punch. Okay, so now I'm coming back to my box and I'm going to remove the backing from the sticky strip on this bottom edge, and I'm going to attach a little Starburst candy so that it's right down the middle like that. And then I'll go to the other side and remove this backing from the other side of the sticky strip and put my message on the Starburst. Okay, so now you've got that in place, and you're going to basically just arch this window sheet over. I hold the Starburst candy right inside of that square on the top of the box. Fold those little petal flaps in. This is much easier if you turn your box upside down. Hold all of that in place and slide it inside of the box, and then you can put your front flap in so that the box closes. That's how you close it. Okay, and once you have that, then all you have left to do is just put your little decoration on the top. And I'm just going to use a dimensional to stick that in place. And then when you go to open it, your little message pops out, springs out at you. I just think that's so fun and so cute. And I'm really thankful to Brenda for sharing this idea with us. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me. Thanks for watching.